everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Claudia. So today I am going to be focused more on the lifestyle piece of my channel. So those of you who have been supporting my channel since the very beginning, I am so thankful and I really appreciate all of you. And even some of you who are more, newer people that are seeing my channel now, and maybe you're enjoying more of the lifestyle piece of my channel. I appreciate you, and even the people that are following the fashion side. But I'm really excited with the lifestyle piece because I really feel like I have a passion for being able to share my perspective and just being able to be real with you and just be honest. So I'm excited about that piece. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be focused today more on I wanted to just explain to you how the power of positivity changed my life. I know some people are, sometimes skeptical, or maybe they don't believe in any type of being positive or prayer and things like that. But, I wanted to just share my experience and what being positive did for me. And, I'm just going to jump right in it, and I'm going to share with you a very personal story. But about a little over 12 years ago, I was working as an RN, a nurse in surgery. And at the time he's my current husband today, but at the time we were actually just dating. And he's a nurse anesthetist by trade. So he was also working in surgery, which is where we met. But, after, a few years of dating, I didn't really understand what was happening, but I started noticing some changes with him, and he just was different. And I didn't know what was going on at the time. Back then, I really didn't know any better. And, come to find out over some time that he was battling a substance use disorder, and he was, heavily addicted to these medications that he was prescribed. And I had no idea that he was battling this. And, as a nurse and as a friend and as a colleague and as a partner, I really didn't know what to do. And I remember, his addiction went on for a really long time, and it affected a lot of people, and it hurt a lot of people. And if you're someone who has somebody with a mental disorder or someone who's fought addiction as a loved one, you can imagine if you've been through it, you know how difficult it is. But if you haven't, I can tell you it's really, really challenging. It's very difficult. So for me, it was just one of the really hardest things that I had to deal with as a loved one, and even as a colleague and as a professional. So, he got addicted to these medications, and after some time, he ended up in treatment. He did end up find his way into a treatment center, and he got help. And, I'm happy to report that he's been clean and sober, for 12 years. But it wasn't, obviously, as you can imagine, it wasn't an easy journey. But during that time, people have asked me over the years, like, how did you do it? How did you keep it together? How did you go to work? And I was a student around this time when everything had happened, and, with your kids and with work. And how did you juggle everything? And yeah, it was challenging. I'm not going to pretend like it was an easy thing, because it wasn't. But one of the things that I did was I prayed, but I felt like I was really optimistic and just so positive. Right before, my husband, who back then was my boyfriend, before he went to treatment, I remember we were both watching TV one day, and this was like around towards the tail end of his addiction. We were watching TV, and we just stumbled across a documentary called The Secret. So The Secret, came on, and I can hear this guy. His face was like his head was on the screen, and he's saying, ask, believe, and receive. And at the first, I was like, what the heck does that even mean? Ask, believe, receive. What does that mean, right? So I started watching this documentary, and then I later ended up reading a book about it. But what it was that, you're supposed to really ask the universe what you want. And you have to really, really believe that you can accomplish these goals or whatever they are. And then they happen. That's where the receive part comes in. And at first I wasn't really sure how I felt about it. But at that time when I was going through a really hard time, I didn't know what else to do. So I took a chance and said, you know what? I am so exhausted. I'm tired. I'm scared. I'm afraid that I didn't know what to do. So I said, you know what? Why not? Why not believe in something, a higher power, something that could possibly help me? And that's what I did. I started reading a book, and every single day I just kept thinking, this is what I want. This is what I believe can happen. And we'll see if it happens. And I remember at that time, my boyfriend, who's now my husband, I did this for 2 weeks straight. And I remember exactly 2 weeks after I started thinking this way, and I was reading this book, my husband enters a treatment program and he gets sober, and it completely transformed his life. And, it was a roller coaster for a long time, but he just got better and better. And I remember there were times where when I would visit him in treatment, people would always ask him, why is your girlfriend so happy? She's so chipper all the time, and she's bringing us food, and she's making flautas, and she's making all this really good Mexican food. Why is she so happy? My wife hates me, and he used to tell him, I don't know what's up with her, but she's just so positive, and she's just on this positivity kick. And he just of course he let me do what I needed to do at the time. But I really do believe that during this time, I wanted to believe that things were going to get better. So I used all my energy, and that's what I did. I stayed optimistic. Not that it wasn't difficult at times, because I would find myself going back and I would start just thinking about all the things that had happened. And there were times where I was angry and I was hurt and things like that. But I would always redirect myself and say, no, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to think the best outcome, and I'm only going to worry about things that I want and how I'm going to accomplish them. So I really did. I read a book. It was, it's called it's the Law of Attraction, and it's called, The Secret is what the book is called. And I think there are a few other books, versions of it. But, for me, it really helped me. It saved my life. And I feel like ever since then, I've just been on this positivity kick that I'm always positive. And I really do try to find the good in everything. Even when things aren't going my way, I really do look at it in a different way. And I do believe that anything is possible. So I will say, whether it's, real or not, or if some of you don't believe it, for me, it helped. And I think I kind of see this positivity like prayer. It's something that's bigger than you, something that you believe in. And I do also pray. So I think the combination of being positive and seeing the good in everything and also praying, I think really saved me, and it saved my family. So I just wanted to be real with you a little bit and share how that helped me. But I will say, if you're somebody who believes in the law of attraction or being positive and things like that, I would love to hear from you. What's your experience been like? And have you found yourself seeing things differently, or have you experienced different blessings? Or, how are you doing with, your current situation? And are you somebody who's struggling to be positive? I know some people have a hard time with it. And in the beginning for me, I think I was just so scared and so sad that was really the first thing that I thought about, and I just ran with it. So I'd love to hear from you guys. If you're someone who's going through it, or, somebody who is someone who's practicing the positivity, the law of attraction, I'd love to hear from you guys. Or if not, I'd love to hear just some dialogue on what you thought about my video, or if you have another perspective. I always respect and I invite all different, perspectives. I don't expect everyone to agree with me or think that everything that I say is correct, because I know I'm not. I'm far from perfect, and I'm just sharing my experience and what's helped me. But I love dialogue from you guys. You guys are amazing, and sometimes I get some really brutally honest feedback, and for me, I love that. I really enjoy it, and I welcome it. So please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, and as usual, I will see you next time.